Hey guys, Frank here. Thanks for joining us again for another Duplin Winery Dine and Wine Wednesday. Let's see what we got here. We got taco mix, I've got some ground beef, and I got some nachos. What do you think we're making? Yeah, that's right, we're making nachos. So let's get this thing started. Let's go. All right, guys, now this is about a 3 or 4 step process to get this done. So the first thing we had to do, we've added some olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. Now we are going to add our ground beef. Now this is gonna make some noise as we put that in there. Also got some taco seasoning, a whole package of taco seasoning. And we've got about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. I love garlic and it's really good in nachos. So let's get that mixed up. We're gonna get that browned. It's gonna take about 5 minutes or so for this to brown. So when that's browning, we're gonna go ahead and head on to the next step. All right, guys, we got our beef browned. So what we're gonna do with that is we want to just sprinkle that over top of our tortilla chips here. So I went ahead and put a layer of tortilla chips down so that would be done, save us a little bit of time here. But I'm gonna sprinkle that all over top. Now, here's something else you can do. If you ever had pulled pork nachos, you can make this into pulled pork nachos too. I love pulled pork nachos, but I like beef just a little bit more. But your pulled pork nachos, if you're gonna use those, we use our smokehouse grilling sauce on top of those, or one of our 2 barbecue sauces. So check those out too. If you like pulled pork, it's a great thing to do. I am just putting a lot of beef on these nachos. Now I've got a little bit of a smaller air frying oven here, so I couldn't use as much nachos or as much of the tortilla chips as maybe you got a big group. Use as much as you need. You might need a little bit more beef than this. You might need a little bit more of these ingredients because we're gonna put some more ingredients on top here too. I've got some black beans. I've rinsed and drained these. I'm gonna put those up there. And we are getting a little bit on the table here, but that won't hurt anything. We'll clean it up a little bit later. Got some onion. And I'm using, I probably won't even use a whole cup here. I would use probably about a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup. I cut up a cup just to make sure, just in case we needed it. We got that there. Next thing I'm gonna add, I got some tomatoes with green chili. So you get a little bit of that spice in there. So let's get those on top there. Now this is gonna be huge by the time we get done. It's gonna be a mountain of nachos, I'm telling you. It's gonna be crazy, crazy. So you see those green chilies in there and those tomatoes, those diced tomatoes. It's gonna add a lot of heat there, so hope you like heat. Now, next thing I love corn on my nachos. I've got some frozen corn here. Again, you put as much on there as you want to. I'm probably gonna end up with about, I don't know, half a cup of the corn here. And again, it's making a little bit of a mess on the table. We can always clean the table up, right? And you know, pick it up, give it to your dog, your cat, whoever, maybe they like corn, I don't know. Who knows? All right, so your last thing you're gonna do, we're gonna put some cheese, because you gotta have a lot of cheese on your nachos, okay? So here's some cheese. I'm gonna sprinkle that over the top of this. Make sure it gets down around. Mountain and mountain of cheese. I got about 1.5 cups here. I probably won't end up using it all on this one. Now, if I had a bigger area that I was making the nachos in, I'd use a little more cheese. If you like salt and pepper, add some salt and pepper at this time. I think there's plenty of salt and pepper in the taco seasoning mix and in the tomatoes. So now we're gonna take it. I'm gonna put it in my air fryer. I've got the air fryer on bake. Be careful that it doesn't fall over and you have a huge mess. Close that up. I've got it set to 400 degrees for about 5 minutes. That's gonna melt that cheese. So let's go ahead and we will hit bake and start. And we're gonna go on to the next step as soon as this gets done. All right, guys, our nachos are done cooking now, so we're gonna take them out. And they look nice and super cheesy. That smell coming out of there, oh my gosh, that's a little bit brown on top for that cheese, which I like that cheese a little bit brown. Now we've got 2 more things to add. The next thing we're gonna add is the most important thing to these nachos, and that's our Muscadine pineapple Habanero salsa that we make here at Duplin Winery. You can buy it here in the retail room. You can buy it online. It goes well with so many different things, but it's extra good on nachos. So let's take a little bit of that. We're gonna pour it over top of this. Now, the nice thing about our Muscadine pineapple habanero salsa is the fact that it's got a little bit of heat to it, but that pineapple, it kind of calms that heat down, and the muscadine in that really gives you a sweet taste to your salsa. So it's one of my favorite salsas out there. I use it on a whole lot of stuff. And then the last thing that we're going to use, I love sour cream. All right, so I like a lot of sour cream on my nachos. So we're just going to put some dollops of sour cream on top here, make it look nice. A little bit of everywhere. And if you want to add some sour cream to the side so people can dip out some if you want, you go ahead and do that. I'm just going to put it right on top though. If you like avocados, guacamole's good on top. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. Now I've got some other things here too though. I talked about the pulled pork nachos a little earlier. We've got our Muscadine Smokehouse grilling sauce, we got our Carolina mustard barbecue sauce, then we got our Muscadine barbecue sauce. These go really well if you make pulled pork nachos. So you just do the same thing here, but instead of using beef, you use pulled pork, and you would use one of these 3 toppings instead of our Muscadine pineapple habanero salsa. Last thing to go with this is a glass of wine. My favorite glass of wine for any of our spicy foods is our Pink Magnolia. It's a mid-sweet. If you like mid-sweet, this is one of the best mid-sweets I've ever had, guys. It's called Pink Magnolia. Goes really well with these nachos. So now, I guess we need to taste them. So let's get in here, and we'll get one off the side here, and then we'll get some of that dip off the top. All right. Here we go. Look at that. We got a little bit of everything in there. Get some of that, a little bit of that sour cream. All right, here we go. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, all the ingredients in here, and then with that topping of that salsa, just melts in your mouth. Let's get a little bit of our wine, our Pink Magnolia wine. That, mixing with a little bit of that spiciness, is just perfect. Awesome snack to have at night. You can make this a meal. Guys, thanks for joining us again for Duplin Winery Dine and Wine Wednesday. Join us next week. We'll have another recipe. Till then, you guys stay safe. We'll see you on the other side. Frank, out.